where for whatever reason, Christianity is the one religion that you're allowed to disparage.
Yeah, I was born into a Catholic family. I'm very Christian in my beliefs, So I do actually believe this stuff to the full.
There's something called like the Fermi paradox of like, where are the aliens?
Yeah.
So, where are the aliens?
Have you ever wondered if there's a hidden side to the Vatican? In a twist, Joe Rogan, Mel Gibson, and Elon Musk may all be pointing towards secrets the church doesn't want us to see. From cryptic rumors about demonic forces to talk of time-bending technology, the buzz is growing about something dark lurking behind those ancient walls. Buckle up. We're about to take a ride into the heart of a mystery that could shake faith and reality alike. Joe Rogan's speculations on the Vatican's secrets. Joe Rogan, stand-up comedian and host of The Joe Rogan Experience, is never shy about tackling tough topics. For him, the Vatican's hidden side stands out. Rogan's show often explores rumors of secret archives, high-level rites, and shocking cover-ups behind the church's grand traditions.
The people that are believers, the people that love to dress up nice and go and behave kind and see all the people in the community at the church.
He wonders if an ancient institution credited with guiding millions might also safeguard secrets that could shake faith worldwide today completely. Rogan has hosted guests who claim the Vatican holds miles of underground vaults stuffed with banned manuscripts, alien evidence, and even strange devices like a chronovisor.
The thing that's going to change the universe is that one day someone's going to invent a time machine, and that when they invent a time machine, all time ceases to become linear.
He notes the church presents a calm, sacred image, yet rumors swirl of something shadowy below. On his podcast, Rogan asks, why stay secret, and what could modern science lose if these hidden artifacts never surface? Could revealing them spark breakthroughs? Rogan also points to the Vatican Bank's repeated controversies. He questions how a tiny state could become a hub for alleged money laundering or backroom deals. Could these secretive flows of cash hint at deeper agendas, like funding covert research or covering up scandalous evidence? On episodes with financial experts, Rogan explores whether hush money or under-the-table deals might tie into the church's rumored hidden trove of knowledge. He also tackles talk of exorcisms and alien life within church doctrine. Rogan notes Vatican astronomers who say belief in extraterrestrials doesn't conflict with faith. Yet he's intrigued by claims of demonic presence in high church ranks. On his show, debates arise on whether the church studies these forces behind closed doors. Rogan wonders if centuries of data on miracles, hauntings, and possible alien encounters remain locked away. Though not an expert, Rogan loves stirring debate. He invites scholars and insiders who insist the Vatican guards relics that might upend our history books. Some think these are wild claims, but Rogan pushes for transparency. If the church indeed protects relics or texts from a distant past, he wonders what humanity might gain by unlocking them. In his view, open knowledge can only help us grow further. Joe Rogan's curiosity about Vatican secrets mirrors his broader push to question official narratives. He believes knowledge should be shared, not hidden away by ancient powers. By hosting diverse guests, including theologians, former clergy, and investigative reporters, he draws attention to the possibility of locked vaults and lost stories. While he hasn't proven anything conclusive, Rogan urges listeners to consider how curiosity and openness might challenge institutions that have held sway for centuries. The chronovisor conspiracy. The chronovisor conspiracy is one of the strangest claims tied to the Vatican's secret lore. This device is said to let users view past events by collecting leftover light and sound waves. According to the story, a Catholic priest named Father Pellegrino Ernetti invented the chronovisor in the 1950s, blending advanced physics with religious knowledge.
Pellegrino Ernetti was a scientist, world-class authority on music, and a scholar. He spoke several languages, he dabbled in electronics, physics, and even the occult arts.
Many conspiracy theorists insist the Vatican locked away this machine because it offered proof of major biblical moments. they also claim the Church can secretly shape our understanding of history. Stories say the chronovisor once captured images of Christ's crucifixion, along with glimpses of ancient civilizations. Some even argue it revealed how biblical events might have differed from tradition. While these tales excite believers in hidden technology, mainstream historians are quick to dismiss them. Critics point out that no hard evidence supports such a device, and the Vatican has repeatedly denied its existence. Still, fascination grows as rumors swirl of advanced experiments happening deep beneath Vatican floors. Skeptics remain unconvinced, but the legend persists. According to some accounts, Father Ernetti didn't act alone. He purportedly worked with other scientists to open windows through time using early quantum theories, harnessing leftover vibrations in the environment. By translating them into visual and audio signals, the chronovisor supposedly turned the past into a real-time spectacle. Supporters believe this device, if authentic, could confirm or challenge major episodes in world history. Critics, however, note no verifiable records exist for such a grand experiment. Over the years, rumors about Vatican involvement stem from the idea that church leaders recognized the chronovisor's power. If it truly offered glimpses of biblical events, it could prove or disprove treasured teachings. For some, it explains the Church's tight grip on Father Ernetti's notes and the rumored hush around his later life. Many believe the Vatican dismantled the device, fearing its potential to shift theology. Others suspect top officials still harness it in secret, waiting for the right moment. In modern times, the chronovisor conspiracy endures as a symbol of hidden knowledge and daring imagination. Supporters claim the Vatican's advanced technology could rewrite history if revealed, while skeptics insist it's pure legend. Even so, the tale intrigues journalists, researchers, and fans of all things mysterious. Could a glimpse at the past reshape our future, or does this device only exist in stories? As long as the Vatican preserves its secret records, people will wonder if time itself lies within those guarded walls. Mystery lingers on. Mel Gibson's criticism of the Vatican. Mel Gibson is a famous Hollywood actor and director who has never been shy about speaking his mind, especially when it comes to the Catholic Church. While he gained worldwide attention for The Passion of the Christ, Gibson's relationship with the Vatican has often been tense and full of controversy.
So Vatican II happened, and of course they took the church and they reformed it.
Some observers even say his criticisms reveal secret cracks within the church's leadership, cracks that might confirm rumors of dark influences behind closed doors. Gibson has repeatedly suggested that parts of the Vatican are controlled by forces that stray from true Christian ideals. He has hinted that corrupt leaders within the church have compromised their moral duties, allowing unethical behavior to spread throughout the institution. Many recall that Gibson, being a traditionalist Catholic, objects to modern changes in church practices. In his view, these updates dilute the faith and open the door to what he describes as evil forces creeping into sacred spaces. His words echo broader conspiracy theories claiming the Vatican hides secrets, including possible cooperation with the powerful or even rumored demonic influences. Critics say Gibson's stance is extreme. They argue he lacks solid evidence and instead relies on personal suspicion or fringe stories. However, his supporters feel he is one of the few daring enough to question an institution that has, for centuries, wielded immense power over billions of believers. They point to historical scandals, such as financial wrongdoing by the Vatican Bank or alleged cover-ups of abuse, to argue that Gibson's concerns may not be completely off base. Over the years, the actor's strong words have stirred debates on news programs and internet forums. Some people feel he is drawing attention to important questions. If the Vatican indeed conceals harmful secrets, what might those be, and how do they affect ordinary Catholics? Others, however, think Gibson is fueling conspiratorial thinking, feeding rumors of hidden archives, mysterious rituals, and even advanced technology lurking beneath St. Peter's Basilica. Whatever one thinks of Mel Gibson, his claims serve as a reminder that the church's human side is far from perfect. His fierce criticism spots a contrast between the Vatican's spiritual mission and its alleged hidden agenda. True or not, these charges have kept the spotlight on an institution that many feel remains as secretive and powerful as ever, leaving believers and skeptics to wonder what really goes on behind those ancient walls. Architectural symbolism, suggesting hidden darkness. The Vatican is not just known for its religious significance, but also for its intricate architecture, which has sparked intrigue and conspiracy theories for centuries. Some claim the very design of its buildings hides dark secrets or sends hidden messages, suggesting a deeper, more sinister meaning. From serpent-like structures to unsettling sculptures, many believe the Vatican's architectural symbolism tells a story that the Church would prefer to keep hidden.
It's pretty fascinating that the Vatican has accumulated such an immense stash of artwork. It's really mind-blowing.
And meanwhile, they have 53 miles of shelf space within that archive.
One of the most talked-about structures is the Pope's Audience Hall. When seen from above, the building resembles the head of a serpent, complete with eyes and fangs. Inside the hall, the Pope's stage sits right in the mouth of the serpent, which some conspiracy theorists say symbolizes deceit or hidden evil. This startling design has led many to question why such an image would be associated with a place meant for spiritual guidance. Could it just be a coincidence, or was it done deliberately to send a subtle, darker message? Adding to the mystery is the massive sculpture behind the Pope's seat, titled The Resurrection. This 66-foot-tall artwork is supposed to depict Christ rising from the grave, but its twisted, chaotic design has been described by critics as nightmarish. Some say it looks more like a nuclear explosion or a grotesque creature than a symbol of hope and resurrection. Even the crown of Christ's head in the sculpture has been compared to horns, further fueling theories of hidden demonic symbolism. But it doesn't stop there. The dome of St. Peter's Basilica, one of the most iconic features of the Vatican, has also drawn speculative eyes. Some claim that, when closely examined, the patterns on the dome resemble reptilian eyes staring down at the faithful. This observation connects to broader conspiracy theories about the serpent as a symbol of hidden power or dark forces influencing the Church. For centuries, the Vatican has been a center of spiritual authority, but these architectural oddities have led many to wonder if there's more to the story. Is the design simply artistic, or does it hint at hidden truths the Church doesn't want the world to know? As long as these symbols remain unexplained, the theories about hidden darkness in the Vatican's architecture will continue to capture imaginations worldwide. Elon Musk's obsession with the Vatican's secret archives. Elon Musk, the billionaire known for his relentless curiosity and groundbreaking ideas.
Okay, you've got your finger in so many different advanced technologies. As I said, SpaceX, Tesla, now you've got Solar City and the solar pack that people put in their houses.
Has reportedly developed a deep fascination with one of the most mysterious places on Earth, the Vatican's secret archives. These archives, now called the Vatican Apostolic Archives, are said to house countless secrets, from suppressed religious texts to evidence of extraterrestrial contact. For Musk, always seeking to push human understanding to new limits, the allure of these hidden records seems irresistible. But what exactly does he hope to uncover? The Vatican's secret archives stretch over 53 miles of shelving and contain more than 35,000 volumes of documents, some dating back centuries. While some of the archives have been open to scholars, many areas remain strictly off-limits. Musk, with his love for exploring the unknown, reportedly believes that these forbidden sections hold knowledge that could transform humanity's understanding of history, science, and even the universe. One of the theories suggests that Musk is particularly intrigued by rumors of advanced technology hidden within the archives. Whispers of devices like the chronovisor, a supposed machine that can view events from the past, have captivated conspiracy theorists for decades. If such technology exists, it could have groundbreaking implications for how we perceive time and history. Musk's work with AI and quantum computing aligns perfectly with the ideas surrounding such ancient, sophisticated inventions. Others speculate that Musk may be drawn to the Vatican's supposed records of extraterrestrial contact. The archives are rumored to contain evidence of alien encounters, including artifacts and detailed accounts that have been kept secret to avoid disrupting religious belief systems. Musk, heavily involved in space exploration through his company SpaceX, has often spoken about the possibility of life beyond Earth. Could the Vatican hold answers he's been searching for? Elon Musk's interest in the archives isn't just about curiosity. It reflects his broader mission to question established systems and unlock humanity's potential. The Vatican, with its centuries of secrets, represents the ultimate challenge for someone like Musk, who thrives on pushing boundaries and uncovering hidden truths. Whether it's ancient technology, extraterrestrial evidence, or lost historical knowledge, Musk's supposed obsession with the archives raises exciting and unsettling questions. What if the Vatican really does hold secrets that could rewrite human history? And what might happen if Musk is the one to bring them to light? The answers remain locked away, deep beneath the Vatican's ancient walls. Financial corruption and moral hypocrisy. Financial corruption and moral hypocrisy have long been rumored within the ranks of religious institutions. The Vatican, as a powerful center of the Catholic Church, has faced especially strong accusations over time. Critics point to the Vatican Bank's shadowy past, where money laundering and secret deals allegedly occurred. Historic scandals, like the collapse of Italy's Banco Ambrosiano,
the scandal-plagued Vatican Bank has published the first annual report,
and the suspicious death of its chairman, Roberto Calvi, cast an uneasy light on the Church's financial practices. Though the Vatican has tried to dismiss these claims, doubt lingers. For decades, the Vatican Bank, officially called the Institute for the Works of Religion, operated with minimal oversight. Its unique status allowed it to avoid normal banking rules. This arrangement, critics argue, made it easy for shady funds to slip through unnoticed. Reports of money laundering drew global attention, pushing church leaders to claim they would introduce reforms. Yet repeated investigations suggested that the bank remained a refuge for criminals seeking a safe haven. Such patterns fueled accusations of blatant hypocrisy. Meanwhile, scandal after scandal has revealed a moral gap within the Church. Cases of child abuse by clergymen shook countless believers who saw the Church as a symbol of virtue. Many felt betrayed when senior officials covered up crimes instead of seeking justice for victims. This duplicity deepened the sense of moral hypocrisy, as leaders preached righteousness from the pulpit, yet failed to uphold basic ethical standards behind closed doors. These revelations added to the distrust surrounding the Vatican's overall credibility. Efforts at reform have been slow and often half-hearted. Popes have promised to clean up corrupt banking practices, only to face internal resistance. Some changes were made, such as stricter financial oversight and revised guidelines for the Vatican Bank. Yet whistleblowers and journalists still report questionable transactions, fueling speculation that real transparency remains elusive. When church authorities speak about morality and compassion, critics point to these hidden deals as proof that the Vatican fails to practice what it preaches. For many observers, this pattern of financial corruption and moral hypocrisy erodes faith in the Church's leadership. They argue that an institution claiming to guide souls should model honesty and virtue, not turn a blind eye to wrongdoing. While the Vatican maintains that it strives for reform, critics remain skeptical. Each revelation of hidden bank accounts or covered-up scandals undercuts the Church's moral standing and damages trust. Ultimately, the call for transparency grows louder, pushing leaders to confront uncomfortable truths. While you might have heard about how gory the Vietnam War was,
these are the images known to the world that marked the end of the Vietnam War. Saigon, capital of South Vietnam, fell to forces of the Communist North on the 30th of April 1975.
You won't believe the creepy things that were considered normal during the time of the war. These disturbing practices and incidents have gone down in history as some of the worst to have ever been recorded. If you're curious to find out, join us as we reveal the top creepy things that were normal during the Vietnam War. The Cam Nay Massacre. The Cam Nay Massacre was a tragic and devastating incident that occurred on August 5, 1965, during the Vietnam War. U.S. Marines burned down the village of Cam Nay, killing civilians, destroying homes, and displacing many residents. You might be wondering how it all happened. Well, it all started in a small village in the Quang Nam province of South Vietnam called Cam Nay. The area was a stronghold of the Viet Cong, and the U.S. military had been conducting operations in the region to root out the insurgents. On August 5, 1965, a unit of U.S. Marines from the 1st Battalion, 9th Marines, entered Cam Nay as part of a search and destroy mission. The Marines claimed they were looking for Viet Cong fighters, but the villagers insisted they were civilians. The Marines proceeded to burn down the village, using flamethrowers and other incendiary devices. Many homes were destroyed, and civilians were killed or injured in the process. Estimates of civilian casualties vary, but it's reported that at least one baby was killed, 3 women were wounded, and many others were displaced. The incident was widely reported by the media, including CBS News correspondent Morley Safer, who was embedded with the Marines. Safer's report, which aired on August 5, 1965, showed the Marines burning down the village and highlighted the civilian casualties. The Cam Nay Massacre sparked widespread outrage and condemnation in the United States. If you think this took too many lives, wait until you hear the next one. Agent Orange. Agent Orange was a herbicide used by the U.S. military during the Vietnam War to destroy crops, foliage, and trees that provided cover for enemy forces. The herbicide was contaminated with a toxic chemical called dioxin, which has had severe and long-lasting health and environmental effects. Agent Orange was a mixture of 2 herbicides, 2,4-D and 2,4,5-T, contaminated with dioxin.
What do you get when you mix 2,4,5-T acid and 2,4-D acid? You get a powerful herbicide that the United States military used during the Vietnam War, and one that's been tied to serious health problems for the people exposed to it.
The U.S. military sprayed millions of gallons of Agent Orange and other herbicides over 4.5 million acres of Vietnam, Laos, and Cambodia between 1961 and 1971. The spraying of Agent Orange destroyed forests, crops, and ecosystems, leading to widespread environmental damage and loss of biodiversity. Exposure to Agent Orange has been linked to various health problems, including cancer, such as Hodgkin's disease, non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, prostate cancer. It has also been linked to birth defects like heart defects, cleft palate, and limb abnormalities, neurological disorders such as Parkinson's disease, peripheral neuropathy, and reproductive problems like infertility and miscarriage. Millions of Vietnamese civilians and thousands of U.S. soldiers were exposed to Agent Orange during the war. Many have suffered from health problems and birth defects as a result. The U.S. government has provided some compensation and assistance to affected Vietnamese civilians and U.S. veterans, but there is still a lot of work to be done to clean up contaminated areas and provide support to those affected. Tiger cages. Tiger cages were small, cramped, and often inhumane prison cells used by the government of South Vietnam to detain and torture suspected communists, dissidents, and civilians during the Vietnam War. These cages were typically made of concrete or metal and were designed to hold a single prisoner. Conditions in the tiger cages were harsh and often brutal. Prisoners were subjected to overcrowding as many of them were often held in the same small cage, leading to unsanitary conditions and the spread of diseases. The cages were often poorly ventilated, leading to stifling heat and humidity. Prisoners were also often denied access to basic sanitation facilities, leading to the spread of diseases. It gets worse. Prisoners were frequently subjected to physical abuse, including beatings, electric shocks, and other forms of torture. They were often subjected to psychological abuse, including isolation, sensory deprivation, and manipulation. The use of tiger cages was widespread in South Vietnam.
They're called the tiger cages. They were used to house what they called the most difficult prisoners, those who were causing the most trouble for the South Vietnamese.
With estimates suggesting that tens of thousands of people were imprisoned in these conditions. Many prisoners were held without trial or due process, and some were imprisoned for years without being charged with a crime. The existence of the tiger cages was first exposed in the early 1970s, and it sparked widespread outrage and condemnation. The U.S. government, which had been providing financial and military support to the government of South Vietnam, was criticized for its role in enabling the use of these inhumane prison conditions. In 1970, two U.S. congressmen, Augustus Hawkins and William Anderson, visited South Vietnam and witnessed the tiger cages firsthand. They subsequently reported on the atrocities they had seen, which helped to raise awareness about the issue and put pressure on the U.S. government to take action. The use of tiger cages was eventually phased out in the mid-1970s, but the legacy of these inhumane prison conditions continues to be felt today. Children of the dust. This refers to the thousands of children born to Vietnamese women and American soldiers during the Vietnam War. These children faced significant challenges and hardships due to their mixed heritage and the social and cultural context in which they were born. Children of the dust were born to Vietnamese mothers and American fathers, often as a result of romantic relationship encounters between U.S. soldiers and Vietnamese women. Many of these children were abandoned by their American fathers, who often did not acknowledge or support their children. Vietnamese society also rejected these children, viewing them as illegitimate or bastards. Children of the dust were also stigmatized and discriminated against in Vietnamese society. They were often denied education, employment, and social services, and were subjected to verbal and physical abuse. Many children of the dust grew up in poverty, living in slums or on the streets. They often had limited access to education, healthcare, and other basic services. In the 1970s and 80s, many children of the dust were adopted by American families or emigrated to the United States as refugees, but this process was often marked by trauma, separation from family and culture, and difficulties adapting to a new country. In recent years, there has been growing recognition of the experiences and challenges faced by the children of the dust.
Some are prospering, while others are still trapped in the cycle of poverty, devoid of education, in poor health, without money, and lacking social position.
Efforts have been made to provide support, resources, and reconciliation to these individuals and their families. Tiger Force atrocities. These atrocities refer to the war crimes committed by the Tiger Force Unit, a reconnaissance platoon of the U.S. Army's 1st Battalion, 327th Infantry Regiment, during the Vietnam War. The unit operated in the Central Highlands of Vietnam from 1965 to 1967. Some of the atrocities committed by Tiger Force include killing unarmed Vietnamese civilians, including women and children, scalping and beheading people for sport or as trophies, cutting off ears and other body parts as souvenirs, burning villages and crops, and torturing and mistreating prisoners. These atrocities were documented through eyewitness accounts, military records, and investigations conducted by the U.S. Army, but despite the evidence, none of the soldiers involved in these atrocities were prosecuted or punished. The Tiger Force atrocities are widely regarded as one of the most egregious examples of war crimes committed by U.S. forces during the Vietnam War. They highlight the darker aspects of human nature and the devastating consequences of war on civilians and soldiers alike. The next one on our list will have you wondering why it was considered normal during the Vietnam War. Torture in the Hanoi Hilton. The Hanoi Hilton was a prison camp in North Vietnam where American prisoners of war, commonly called POWs, were held and subjected to torture, starvation, and physical abuse during the Vietnam War. The prison was officially known as Ho Lo Prison, but it became notorious among American POWs as the Hanoi Hilton. American POWs were subjected to various forms of torture, including beatings, kickings, and other forms of physical abuse were common. POWs were fed meager rations, often consisting of rice and vegetables, leading to malnutrition and starvation. POWs were even often held in solitary confinement, leading to psychological distress and isolation. POWs were denied sleep or subjected to prolonged periods of wakefulness. POWs were subjected to propaganda, lies, and manipulation to break their spirits and extract false confessions.